The first step in this process that I hope you've already completed is that you have a clear visual way of indicating your to-do items. Now, I have a bunch of junk stuff in my inbox for the sake of this demonstration, but just in case you haven't done that part yet, a couple different ways that you can have a clear visual of items that you need to do are that you could right-click on the message and mark it as unread. Now, in some cases, that does mean that new stuff coming in can also get blended with your to-do items. But as long as you know what the difference is between a to-do item and something new that's come in, that's not going to be a problem with this process. That is one way to do that. Another way to have a clear visual is to use a flag. So the flags can then be sorted or filtered, so you can arrange the message by your flag dates. And that is another way that you can clearly show what you need to do. So for the sake of our demonstration, I'm going to flag a couple of messages just so that we can show what these next steps look like. So as I've described, there's just 4 steps to cleaning out your inbox. The first one is that you make a new folder called Respond. This is where all of your to-do items are going to go. Now, where you want that Respond folder to land is going to be up to you, and I'll show you some tricks later for where that could possibly land to make it easier for you to find stuff. For right now, I'm going to just right-click on my inbox, go to New Folder, and label it Respond. Hit Enter, and the next step is to take all of my to-do items from my inbox and move them there. Now, you could take that on a one at a time drag and drop method, but for those of you who have more items to do, you may want to arrange by your flag status, and that floats all of your flagged items to the top. If you did it by the unread, you can also filter and show only your unread messages, and then that's all that's going to land in that area. Then you can select those items. So my fastest way, I only have a couple up here, but my fastest way to select multiple items is to click on that top one, hold my Shift key down, and then click down to the last one in that series. The Shift is grabbing everything from that first click, everything in between, down to that last click. So if you had to scroll for a little while, that might be one way to accomplish that, or just move small groups at a time. Then left click and drag those items over to your Respond folder. So what we've done at this point is we've now isolated our to-do items. They're clearly in a particular place. The next folder that you're going to create, as we mentioned in the earlier section, is called Keep or Keep or 2020 or To Sort. Now, keep in mind that these automatically get put in alphabetical order, but if you want Keep to land underneath Respond, you can go to Respond and click Move Up, or you can move them in whatever order you want by right-clicking and then moving them in a certain order there. In the past, we only had the ability for them to land in alphabetical order, so some people would actually put certain indicators in the front of them, like an asterisk, or like a dash, or maybe they'd number them or whatever. Those weren't bad options, and you certainly could still do that if that's helpful for you, but it's not necessary because we can right-click on those folders and then move them up and down into the order that we want. So now back to my inbox. So again, at this point, there is nothing in my inbox that I need to do. Everything else is just stuff that needs to be stored. So I would Control A to select all from in here, left click, drag it over to Keep, and we now have achieved inbox 0. Now this is just the first step in a multiple step process, but the goal here was to have a very clear place where our to-do items are and a very clear place where things are stored. Again, if you have any questions on this part, please watch the video again. If you don't want these folders landing under your inbox, if you'd rather have them be an independent folder, rather than right-clicking on your inbox and making a new folder, your other option is to scroll up to your email address, right-click on that, and then do a new folder from here, Again, I'll name that retain, and I would name one keep. And you can float them wherever you want by right-clicking and rearranging them by moving up and moving down.